Man, we were talking about it earlier, Rob. Just the bad news. Kyrie Irving, we were watching it yesterday, goes down. Torn ACL out for the season. It's going to take anywhere from 9 months to a year, however long it'll take him to recover. And it just really, I don't know if I was really trying to think of, in recent sports history, something compounding itself so badly, Rob. You know what I mean? Where it just went from worse to worse to worse to worse. We wake up one day, we're all sitting there getting ready to actually take it back, getting ready to go to bed, and boom, the Luka trade happens. And that explodes, and everybody's beyond shocked, and it's like, wait, what? The 25, five-time All-NBA?
I was getting dressed to go head out.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was getting ready. I think I probably had a 3-year-old on my chest getting ready to go to bed. Different lives. And we're all blown away, like, oh, my gosh, this trade is crazy. And then we kind of assess the trade, and we go, okay, Anthony Davis is a heck of a player, really good, but this is crazy. You just traded all-world 25-year-old for a 31-year-old perpetually injured. This is crazy. Then what happens? AD gets injured the first game. And it's almost poetic in that he's playing well. He's balling out. He's showing Mavs like, this is who you got. I'm that guy. And he's literally doing that, playing great. Boom, goes down. He's injured. He's been out for ever since. So now you go to the Lakers. They've been playing well. They're on a run. Luka's just getting his legs back, and the Lakers look good. That makes it worse. Then you have the governor of the Mavs coming out saying stuff like, well, we didn't think it was going to be so much blowback, and we didn't – what? So that makes it crazy. And then, of course, they're on a mission to make you feel like Luka is going to have this crazy injury and catastrophic injury in 5 years. So they're going on a campaign to make Luka look bad to make themselves look better. And then, boom, Kyrie goes down last night. And I just don't know if I've seen something compound so fast or in a matter of a few weeks. Bad get to worse, get to worse, get to worse. I mean, we joke a lot, you and I, about the Giants getting rid of Saquon and then keeping Daniel Jones. He's terrible, and then the next year he's no longer with you. So maybe that's up there, but and then Saquon going on to win a championship with the Eagles. They just made a worse trade. Things just got worse, and it just kept going downhill. And to now, this is one of the worst sports situations in quite some time, where you made a blunder trade, everyone's confused by it. And then injury to the guy you traded for, who's always injured, gets injured. To now your best player still, Kyrie, goes down, which obviously that was not their fault. Just a terrible situation, which is maybe why you didn't want to pair an injury-prone AD with an injury-prone Kyrie. That was just not great. And it's just a bad situation. And I'm like, I can't think of something in sports that compounded bad after bad after bad after bad like this in quite some time.
Yeah.
Maybe the fifth inning for the Yankees in the World Series. Seriously, like that, where it just kept getting worse. That might be the worst, the other equivalent in the last, several years.
Yeah, I mean, I get your point on the present day, but I'm not so sure that I can, without question, say it's the worst. We don't know what Luka can turn into. They didn't want to pay $350 million to a guy who wasn't being professional or taking care of himself. I'm not mad at them. Like they live with him. They looked at him. Like, to make a bold decision like that means that there's something there. Because I keep saying this. It's not a basketball trade. Obviously, you're not trading a 25-year-old international star who's a first-team All-NBA, okay? Like, because in 5 of his 7 years in his career or whatever, okay? So that's not logical. So there's something else there that frightened them to the point that they didn't want to pay. And that's, I've seen teams, pay players and then regret it later on, and they paid Bradley Beal and all that, and then you have an albatross. And I'm not saying that Luka is Bradley Beal. Mm-hmm. But there's something else there, and we don't know. And while the Lakers are off to a good start, we'll see what happens. We'll see after the honeymoon wears off, does he fall back into bad habits? You know what I mean? The offseason, he comes back into training camp overweight from going back to Europe. And there's a lot of stuff that factors in. So, yes, the Mavericks get the short end of the stick as we speak because two of the guys who you were hoping and counting on are injured. So there's no way of debating that. But they
also traded for said injury person, Rob. You know what I mean? They didn't trade.
Yeah, but AD also won a championship for the Lakers. I mean, we can sit here all day. We know what AD is.
A great player.
So the Lakers traded for him, too, and people questioned because he was always hurt, and they got a championship out of him. I think you'll take that. If you're the Dallas Mavericks and somehow not an 8-year career, 10. If you could get a championship, and that's what they were hoping, that they could get back to where they were. This time they'd have a rim protector. They'd have, somebody who could play defense, and also he's a great scorer. We know that. That maybe in the short term, that's all you're looking for. You're not going to win every year. Teams don't win like that. It's hard. So it sounds great. Oh, they're going to win a dynasty and win. The Warriors weren't winning 3 in a row or 3 out of 4 without Kevin Durant either. They just weren't if they didn't go and get Kevin Durant. So, and they won a championship, right? The next year they lost. They gave up that 3-1 lead. So I just think that this is different. This is so unique, so strange. I'm still not going to bash Dallas for deciding against him.
You are nice.
No, I'm not.
Because to
I'm
me,
not, it's not a basketball trade.
But I guess I agree with that. Maybe there's something darker, sinister. We don't know.
If this was just basketball, say he wasn't overweight, he was whatever. This is just basketball. Then I say they're crazy. They're Meshuggah. There's some reason that they don't want to fork over $350 million to him. The same way, DeMarcus Cousins with the Kings. Do you remember that?
Yep.
They didn't pay him. The deadline came and they were like, man, we can't. I'm not saying we can't control them, but like there's all this stuff going on, all this craziness. We can't. If we give this guy $206 million, or at that time $250-something million, what are we gonna do here? And what they do? They didn't give it to him, and guess what? DeMarcus never got it.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess so I get I totally get what you're saying. I guess I'm looking at it with the massive miss again. The key component for me is what we find out in the more recent reporting is that they said we believe in the next 5 years he's going to have a catastrophic injury. But you literally got the guy who's often injured, so much so that he has a nickname, Street Clothes. And I hate it for him because he's a good dude and he's incredibly talented and one of the better players in the league when healthy, Anthony Davis. We know that. But you got him for Anthony Davis, and you didn't get a bunch of draft picks. You didn't get Austin Reeves, and then you paired him with an often injured Kyrie. So it's just a weird mix, and that's where it went wrong. If they believe there's some deeper, darker stuff with Luka that we will never know because he's not on our team, okay. To that point, okay, maybe there's something we don't know.
Can I just go here? Here it is.
Yeah.
I just want to – this is –
This DeMarcus Cousins?
Yeah. 2017. This was, according to Woj, this was some of the reason the Kings decided to trade him instead of offering him an extension. Quote, the Kings simply decided that they no longer wanted to let Cousins' volatility dictate the culture of the locker room. He was in line for a $209 million contract. This is 2017, and they didn't give it to him. And this is what this is, and I'm not saying he's that or whatever, but there's something there. I'm with you. If we're talking about the basketball straight up, then we know that this was a horrific trade. If this is about basketball, I don't believe it's about basketball.
I still, even with that, there's something still off. Like, we can find a way to get this guy in shape. We can find a way to tell him, hey, you don't know sparingly, how much, you know how sparingly, let's sparingly with the hookahs. And either way, I'm just not getting rid of him. We're going to have to go down with the ship.
When they take a beer from a guy who's of age, who's drinking after you won.
I said that was serious, yeah.
After you won and you're heading to the finals.
Yeah.
When can you have a beer then? I'm asking you.
Though that I 1,000% there was concern. In real time, I remember looking at Michael Finley's face like, oh, he's serious. Then I remember looking Luka's face.
And Luka tried to get it back like
and Michael Finley walked away. I'm like, oh, this is a serious thing.
That's what I'm saying to you. Like, that doesn't make sense. If you're going to let somebody go off and celebrate, that's the day to get drunk, isn't it?
100%.
You're going to the finals.
But
who's going to stop somebody from drinking during a celebration?
And my only thing is just, and the final point is, that just felt like, couldn't you have gotten more? That's the big. You're letting a generational talent go. Rob, this isn't Brandon Ingram. This isn't Zion. This isn't, some other good players around. Oh, he's a good young player. I like him. He's in Tyrese Halliburton. A generational talent go. That was the biggest part. And again, and who you paired AD with, But it's just, I haven't seen something like this in quite some time with the compound. I mean, it just got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse for the Mavericks. And it's just, the fans got to be sick. They showed a shot of Mark Cuban the other night, and he just was like, what the heck just happened?
Well, Mark Cuban, I don't know why. He sold the team.
I know, he did.
And thought he was going to run the team. Really?
Yeah, who
buys your store and then let you run the store?
Right.
I'm just like,
it has to be like, what just happened? We were well run in the finals last year.
He sold out. Well, that's what you did.
Yeah, he chose to.